FSN Radio. It's all about what's next. Go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com and sign up for your free weekly newsletter. You'll also get 3 free reports. The Financial Survival Network. It's all about what's next.
Welcome. You are listening to the Financial Survival Network. I'm Kerry Lutz. It's 4/22/19, last show of the day, but keep tuned. There will be more, I promise. We got a whole host of people for tomorrow and throughout the week. Just go over to financialsurvivalnetwork.com. You'll see what's on, what's coming up. Sign up for a newsletter. Anyways, you know, it's a crowded field right now, at least on the Democratic side of the aisle, for president, candidates for president. It seems that just about anyone who can is running, and even some of the people who can't run are running as well. Well, we've got somebody here that you never heard of that you're probably going to want to hear about, who genuinely believes that not all hope is lost. His name is Tim Harris. You find him at restoreanation.nationbuilder.com, restoreanation.nationbuilder.com. Tim, hey, anyone can run for president. Tell us, why are you doing it?
Well, I actually had a bit of a wake-up call. I mean, I've been kind of a fun guy that has enjoyed a lot of life, but I guess my call to action, let's start with that, is that I was sitting there sort of minding my own business. And, you know, anybody with a child has had to chase after them before they headed into the street, or, you know, unfortunately, a lot of us have gotten a call about a dear family member that was in the hospital. Well, when those kind of things happen, it puts everything else that you thought you were going to do on the back burner. Love this country, served it as a veteran, but when the last 2 presidents that we've had in office did more to create separation and anxiety, and there seemed to be, the fight has gotten intense. I think somebody needs to show up that's an adult that can put all these high school and teenage behaviors behind us so that we can pay attention to the 8 or 10 things that have to get done in order for our society to continue.
Okay, so what are you going to do? How are you going to do this? It sounds kind of impossible, what you're proposing.
Well, you know, if somebody goes to my site, which, let me clear up one thing, it's restoreanation.com. If they just type that in, it'll take them right to the site. So it's restoreanation.com.
Okay. Didn't come up there on the site that way. So,
I mean, an easy thing to point out to people is the environment.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why a lot of people have come up with this new deal and did a photo op. But they've been doing photo ops since the 60s. And they'll pass a non-binding resolution, which makes everybody say, hey, this is really important. And then Congress has allowed both Democrat and Republican Congress, Democratic and Republican presidents since the 60s, have pretty much allowed the money train to show up and tell them what they were going to be concerned with. We're at a point right now, and I'm not talking about global warming. I'm not talking about, you know, any certain title, but there are things going on in our environment that are critical. For example, the storms that we've been having. When I was a kid in the 60s, we had storms, but they only showed up about every 5 years, not 4 or 5 times a year at each corner of the country. You want me to explain how I'm going to fix part of this, right?
Yeah, I'd love to hear it.
Okay. So we have currents in the ocean, and then there are in either ocean, there is a place where these grand currents come together. Where those grand currents come together, I wouldn't call it a continent of plastic, but we've got huge plastic depositories. The weather textbooks, the weatherman textbooks for meteorology say that the temperature of the ocean is directly related to the severity of a storm. They've even talked about it on the news. If you take a plastic jug, whether it's warm outside or not, and put it in your window, that water's going to get warmed up. People use that to make sun tea, okay, whether it be in a glass jug or a plastic jug. Sun passing through that kind of material causes it to increase in temperature. If we clean up that plastic, now, here's how you do that. We currently have 15 to 17 naval destroyers that have been mothballed because they're coming out with a new version. unless that the radar will bounce off of. So we have these in mothballs. They're not dead. They're not destroyed ships. We take those out with crews and we put in a drag net and we draw most of that plastic up. That plastic comes up, then it comes back to the United States. It's recycled. Okay, the industry itself will support recycling, just that they haven't been rewarded to. Okay, so, but there are other ways that this can be done. You can bring it up to a barge where this plastic is heated, then you use heat replacing technology to basically cool off the water that's around these barges, basically sort of creating like a floating iceberg, which brings down the coolant of the water. And all of this, when the plastic is used and heated up, then those pellets come back to the United States, and we use those pellets as they have in European countries, mixed it with the asphalt, and it gives the asphalt more viscosity, and it'll be able to handle the heat and the cold better. This was as fast as I've ever tried to explain this. And when I say to you, if you go to my website and look at the environment, I have ideas that not only take care of that, but create jobs within all of that structure.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, well, it might. Has this been tried at all?
Has it been tried at all? No. But people haven't been trying things since the 60s because they haven't tried. Oh, you mean has the science been proven? Yes, the science has been proven.
All right. So,
but they haven't adopted it.
Mm-hmm. All right.
I mean, the Democratic Vice President Al Gore created this great big movie. What was it, 15 or 20 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
That didn't mean the science was flawed. That just means that it wasn't accepted. But we're facing a situation by which our environment is beating us up, and we need to do something about that.
So what about climate change here? Are we worried about this?
Well, I mean, our environment has changed. No matter what term or coin or ist is talking at the moment,
mm-hmm.
whether it be a conservatist or environmentalist, you can argue terms all day. What I'm saying is that there's a possibility of making positive changes in our environment so it's not so abusive.
Well, hey, I agree with you. Like a lot of what's going on in the world environmentally is terrible, but there's been a lot of improvements. I remember as a kid taking the New Jersey Turnpike into New York City, and you would see a yellow layer of sulfur dioxide, and it was just that was your sky view, your skyline. And now, for a variety of reasons, that is gone. So,
yeah. Well, I'm in Yonkers, about ready to take that roadway right now, and I know it's better than it used to be.
Yeah, so. The air is far better. In fact, the U.S.'s air quality has improved better than anyone else's in the world. We're still working on getting rid of coal-fired power plants, but they're pretty much gone in the Northeast.
FSN Radio. It's all about what's next.
Egypt is on the verge, once again, becoming a world-renowned gold producer. The Golden Age is being rediscovered. For millennia, ancient Egyptian kingdoms prospered from unparalleled riches. Pharaohs built their empires and flaunted their abundant wealth that was made possible by the country's resource-rich gold deposits. Despite this rich history, modern Egypt remains one of the most underdeveloped gold mining countries in the world. Aton Resources is at the center of the modern Egyptian mining world, diligently working both as the only public exploration company in Egypt today and as the advocate for mining reform with the Egyptian government. However, those that arrive early like Aton will reap the best rewards. Aton's discovery of the legendary Lost Mountain of Gold at Radruin and its current aggressive drilling program there could potentially reap those rewards. Aton Resources is focused on its 100% owned Abu Marawat concession in the Arabian-Nubian Shield, located 200 kilometers north of Centamin Sakari's world-class gold mine. Aton possesses first-mover advantage in the underfollowed jurisdiction of Egypt, which is currently undergoing mining reform. To stay on top of Aton's latest drill results and news, go to atonresources.com. Aton trades on the Toronto Venture Exchange under the ticker AAN and on the OTC under the ticker ANLBF.
The Financial Survival Network. It's all about what's next.
Well, on the one hand, it's not as bad as some people have claimed it to be.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other hand, it is bad in some areas. I mean, would you like to take a drink of water out of the Lansing, Michigan, water system? Not me.
No thanks.
But and I'm not saying that was due to poor environmental management, but there are problems that we can address.
Yeah.
Okay. There were any of the disasters that have taken place that have hit our coastline in the last 15 years have been ridiculously poorly handled.
Agree with you there. So, but here's the thing, Tim.
So what I'm saying is that we can do better. We have the technology to do it. And I can give you an example of that just in Puerto Rico. And this isn't about Donald Trump.
Right.
Okay.
I appreciate
I'm saying that these problems have existed for a long time.
Of course.
So
these are
we have the military sells off their leftovers, right? Through their logistics. Some of the things that they've sold off in the last couple of years have been power units.
Right.
Okay, these power units are carried into combat. It's not like you're going to drop them and break them.
Mm-hmm.
We could have easily dropped half a dozen of those or a dozen of those on every one of the affected islands in Puerto Rico, and the people could have had power. We have water treatment systems that are being sold off by logistics that basically when a battalion goes in, that's 500 men or soldiers, by the way, members. When a battalion goes into a unit, they bring one of these water treatment trucks along with them, and they can take sewage and turn it into drinkable water.
Right. Okay.
We could have used that either in Lansing or we could have used it in Puerto Rico.
Okay, but here's the thing. All right, I agree with much of what you're saying. It sounds great. What is your strategy to get elected here, Tim? Why should we treat your efforts here seriously?
Well, okay. Well, for one thing, I'm on your show.
Yeah, but a lot of people
pretty seriously.
A lot of people are on my show, and they're not going to get elected president. Any of them.
Okay. Well, you remember when Bill Clinton got elected?
Yeah, I remember.
Okay. I'm not saying it's a celebration. I'm just saying, remember.
Yeah, I remember.
Okay, sure. He got elected by the friends of Bill. According to him, that was the words he used. He basically had two people that he's maintained contact with in every state in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
So about 2 years ago, I went out and I started crisscrossing the United States again, as I have done many times, not just because of the election, many times.
Mm-hmm.
And I have gone to every state in the United States, talked to people in every state in the United States, and the three biggest cities within those states, not just the electoral college important ones. Okay.
Mm.
And I thought, well, okay, if I could get two people in every state, then at least I'd have a foothold. Well, I didn't get two. I got 5, 10, 15, some in California, 25, in Nebraska, 14. I mean, I have all of these people around the country who have promised to support the efforts that I'm making.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. No one had ever even heard of Barack Obama until Super Tuesday.
Mm.
Jimmy Carter was a complete surprise until after Ohio and New Hampshire.
But here's the thing, Tim. I don't mean to interrupt, but here's the thing.
Sure.
They were politicians, all right? They had followings.
Mm-hmm.
Clinton was governor, and before that, Attorney General of Arkansas. Carter was governor of Georgia.
Yeah.
Obama was, a state senator, a community organizer, whatever that means, and then U.S. senator. All right. They all had sponsors. They all had people pushing them from behind. And, while they might not have advertised their infrastructure, they had billions of dollars behind them. Who's your sponsor?
Yeah.
Who's going to push you into the White House? If you tell me it's just going to be the people.
I don't have an answer to that question. So maybe there's, let me put it to you this way.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there's not a snowball's chance in hell of me getting there. Maybe.
I tend to agree with that.
But I'm not willing to write it off yet.
Okay. Hey, I admire what you're doing.
I'm saying that I have appointments with quite a few very wealthy individuals that are extremely concerned in the same areas that I am.
Yeah. We all share that concern.
I also have about 30 meetings set up between now and the first part of July, where I'm going to be meeting with individuals and community leaders across the country.
Mm-hmm.
A nonpartisan candidate has been elected president before. His name was George Washington.
Yeah, we've come a little ways.
And,
I hear what you're saying, and
okay, but hold on. Let me finish what I am saying.
Yeah.
Okay, and there has been an additional 5 presidents that were neither Democrat nor Republican. Okay, so the way that they did it is by being written in.
Mm-hmm.
Now, currently, we have a huge problem in our country where they're talking about people hacking into our voting system. Let me see them hack into your PIN.
All right.
So if people write me in, I'll win. If they don't, I won't.
All right. Well, hey, we applaud your efforts, and I know that your motivation is really positive, coming from a really good place, and we respect you for that, for taking a stand. And hey, maybe you can succeed where so many others have failed. So just tell us again, Tim, where do we find you? Where do we sign up?
I would love to have everybody within the sound of our mutual voices to check me out on restoreanation.com.
Restoreanation.com. Got it.
Yeah.
So,
and I would love to have them sign up, if for no other reason than to see what we're doing next.
Okay.
But I also am willing to take donations because we got to keep this going. But
keep the lights on.
I don't know where like you said, I don't know where the big sponsorship is going to come from yet, but we have a few things in the fire that might cook up.
All right. It's exciting times. Tim, thank you so much for coming on. Any questions, comments for Tim, myself? Email us, kl@kerrylutz.com, Twitter feed @KerryLutz, Facebook page, Financial Survival Network. Tim, good luck. We hope we'll be seeing your name on the ballot come November.
Thank you.
FSN Radio. It's all about what's next. Go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com and sign up for your free weekly newsletter. You'll also get 3 free reports. The Financial Survival Network. It's all about what's next.